Coaches Lounge. Yes, I'm bringing the coaches, everybody. We're building those relationships so you can see the power that they have in other people's lives. So we're just going to keep it moving. I told you this is a packed hour, and I want to make sure I give this wonderful queen her time that she deserves because she's doing an amazing things in this world. So Mrs. Wendy, she's coming on. Like I said, I call the women queens. She is a board certified nurse practitioner. She's a stress solution strategist. She's an international speaker. She's a number one bestseller. She's a certified with John Maxwell, and the list goes on. Can you believe? Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Don't tell me that we don't have power pack people in this world. I don't know where you're looking, but you need to look right here. And I'm bringing on these coaches, and Wendy is one of those the change makers. Let's just say that she's a change maker. And I want you, like I said, I want you to get to know these coaches and what they're doing in people's lives. So I'm going to bring her on but I have to, as I said, I got to do a little quick, because we got to do the sponsors, and they're looking at me saying, okay, Barbara, you got to do it. I said, okay, I'm going to bring a quick one on because I want to bring Wendy on. So they're going to have to bear with me with that. So this is going to be really quick, and Wendy's going to be right here with me, and we're going to have that discussion with her. Hello, lady.
Hi, Barbara. How are you?
I'm doing great. You are looking fabulous, beautiful. Thank you so much. Yes, I just have to give you so much. Thank you. Because I love when the queens come on my show and really just talk about their genius, their expertise, and how they're helping others, not just yourself. So where are you located? I just want to know before we get started.
Yes, so I'm in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
But I'm from Boston. I have to represent from Boston, but I live in Connecticut right now with my family.
Wow. So you've been there for a while?
Yeah. Yes, I've been here since, I would say 2000. I actually came to Connecticut to go to nursing school, and then I stayed. And this is where, we kind of set our roots down.
Set your roots down. Well, congratulations, and congratulate to all of the accolades that I know that you have been getting, and just pouring yourself into what you do. So you can not only help your family and yourself, but you've been helping others, lady. And that's why I feel like it's just due for the coaches to be really displayed and get that visibility, because, I know we're coaches. I'm a coach, you're a coach, you're an author and all that. But a lot of times people don't really peel the label for people when they're doing their coaching, when they're doing consulting and what they do, and how vital it is in people's lives. So I just want to get started. One thing I always like to ask is, we just don't become this awesome, person that we're doing this. It started somewhere, some thought, or maybe something that happened in your life that said, you know what, I want to do what I do now. So just give us just a little backstory, Wendy, of why you became this incredible influencer in life.
Yes. So the pandemic, it all started in March of 2020 when I was struggling with stress. Just being a new mom, new wife. I had my elderly mom here, and, we know COVID was out there killing people. At the time, I was just working from home doing clinical research. And I was really wrestling, as I say, with my purpose, because I'm a nurse at heart. I wanted to be with patients during that time, with my cancer patients. So I was really struggling with, I'm a new mom. There's a virus out there killing people. My family's not really supportive of me going back out into the field. But in my gut, I knew I had to. Mm-hmm. So I stressed about that for months. And then I had to really have a talk with myself. And, I always say the words of my grandfather really helped me, leaning on his wisdom. And I made the decision to go back. Now, that was really the pivotal point in everything I do, because that one decision, Barbara, really catapult me into entrepreneurship, into, becoming a stress solution strategist, into helping other people transform their lives through stress management. So the power of that one decision where I was feeling so stuck, so just uncertain, I couldn't make a decision. Once I aligned with my purpose, as I say, doors just opened up that I didn't even know were there. I didn't know those doors were there. So that's how I really got into doing what I'm doing.
Well, I love, first of all, when you talk about purpose, lady, you're in my lane. I love it. So when you basically came to that focus and got to that purpose that you needed, everything started flowing. That's why those doors were opening up. That's why everything was coming, because that's when you just aligned yourself with that. And that's what I'm talking about, living your best life and what you want to do and help others. And I hate to say, and we're not going to give it that much power. I always say with the pandemic, real quick, a little slow, that it did change a lot of us. It did change a lot of us, and it made us think. I feel like it just made us do like a reset and just say to ourselves, okay, do I really want to do this? I've been doing it for 27 years. I'm not even liking this. And some people have said that. Some people have said that. Or somebody said, I like what I'm doing, but I know there's more. I know there's more that I need to do in this world. And I think that we all come to that conclusion. I think you did too, Wendy, when you decided to, with the stress and everything, because that's one thing. I don't care what anybody says. We can be strong as we want to be. Stress can still get to us. Stress can still get to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this pandemic helped a lot of people unwrap their gifts and share them with the world. And it really helped people pinpoint their values and what they stand for and what they want to do, and really how much impact we can have on this world. So personally, for me, being a nurse, it was about serving patients, in the clinic or through clinical trials. And after the pandemic, I can serve the world with what I do, right? It's not just this one entity or this one sector. I mean, I can impact the world. And, with social media and virtual trainings and the internet, I mean, your reach is limitless. Yeah. And that's one thing that motivates me to do what I do, because I help people manage their stress so they can tap into their brilliance and their gifts and impact the world. Because I believe everyone has something to contribute to the world.
You are so right, Queen. You are so right. I love that. I love that. And I love what you said. I had to write this down. You're dropping some mic drops here. You said unwrapping their gifts. We are unwrapping our gifts. I'm like, ooh, that feels good just saying it. Yes. Okay, now let's get into, I love what you're the CEO of the Stress Blueprint. I love how you put that. So what got you to that? Well, I know about you dealing with stress, but naming that whole, you're basically your program or your business.
Yeah, so the Stress Blueprint is, it's a blueprint. I have the blueprint for stress management that I've developed and I utilize to help people transform their lives. So I said, I will name the company the Stress Blueprint. And, we help people with stress management through coaching, training, and speaking, but it's all related to this blueprint. So my blueprint is called the Shape Blueprint, and it's something that you see in everything I do. And it's a way to really help people pinpoint their stressors and really unpack it and come up with actionable steps to manage stress.
I love how you did it, because that's very important, because a lot of time people don't deal with the deeper part of stress. They deal with those symptoms, and sometimes we just throw a Band-Aid on it. You know how that goes. And then we keep moving and we thinking everything is okay, and then boom, something really hits even more. And now you're even more trying to figure out where the stress is coming from. So when you're helping people unpack that, where do you begin at with a person?
So the first thing in stress management is you need time, and you have to be intentional about it. But it's really understanding, what are your stressors? That's where we start. So I always say, what's the story around your stressors? Mm-hmm. And that's the who, what, and why around your stressors. Are these stressors, can you control them? Can you not control them? Many times we can't control the stressors, and those are called external stressors. And just kind of a little tip on the Great Resignation, I was looking at some research and surveys. All the reasons people listed were external stressors. We don't have control over external stressors, but we have control over how we react to them, right? So that's really it. It's really taking time and space to understand what your stressors are and not just wear them. I think we're a society who we wear stress as a badge of honor. Like the more stressed we are, the more we think we're doing. But that is really making us sick mentally and physically. And I don't think people understand the power of stress, especially the chronic stress that comes with it. So that's why stress management is so important, making people take a step back. And I know with the pandemic, stress has been amplified, but really letting people know that they can control stress and take control of their life.
Yeah. I love how you put, Wendy, where you said, the external stressors what we can't, like I always tell people, you can't if you can't do anything, I mean, you're not in control of it, then why are we trying to be in control of something that we don't have that control over? But we do have control over how we basically respond to it. And I'm loving how you said that, because that's a stress of its own, trying to worry about something that you can't do. I mean, I don't have like you said, I would love to say, okay, this pandemic's gone and I got rid of it, Barbara Beckley, but Barbara Beckley can't get rid of it right now. So what does Barbara Beckley do to get through this? What does Wendy do to get through this? So I don't have to put so much on you. So I love how you said that. It's a mindset. It's really, I was going to ask you, when do you talk a little bit about that when you're walking people through that? It's a mindset.
Oh, it's all about mindset. So the logo for the Stress Blueprint is a head. It's really the mind, but it starts in your mind, and that's where intention really comes from. It's really doing an introspective assessment of you, where you are and what you want, right? Because I think everyone talks about mindset, but you have to want to change your mindset. You have to want to make the change in your life, right? Because it all starts with you. You can hire as many coaches as you want. You can be in as many programs as you want, but if you're not willing to do the work on yourself, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So it's really setting your mind and knowing that you are capable of making sustainable, as I say, sustainable behavior changes to manage your stress. It starts with you. You are number one. And something else I want to highlight about stress, Barbara, is no one really teaches us about stress management. It's not something we talk about at the dinner table. And that's something that I'm trying to instill in the individuals who I encounter. But this is something we need to start talking about with our children, not just when you get to adults, because that stress management, those behaviors are something that starts from childhood. And a lot of the internal stressors, which I also talk about, like our thoughts, our self-talk, our limiting beliefs, those are things that we pick up throughout life. So we need to start talking about stress management at the dinner table with our family.
Yeah. Yeah. And one I was going to ask, why do you think that is, where we don't really, like talk, especially with family, especially with people that we really are close to? I'm just not talking about all different types of the family, because sometimes you might not even want to do that, but just your internal family. Why do you think we don't really do that?
Well, because we normalize stress. We normalize stress with many other things. And I also think we need to revitalize the family unit. I think, many families, not all, got away from the importance of the family unit in creating traditions like sitting down for dinner, right? So we have to revitalize that and really understand what's important to us, what's important to our family, and what do we want to instill in our children and just our family unit in general. And it's never too late, even if you have older kids, or even if it's just you and your husband or your wife. Talk about it. What are the stressors, right? People usually don't ask, how are you doing, first of all, right? That's usually the question. But people usually aren't listening to that. But let's talk about stress. Let's call it what it is. Like, what do you do for stress management? How was your day? What was stressful today? And I always encourage people, you want to look for your stressors. So you're not hiding from them, because you want to look for them so you can manage them. So you can actually apply, can I control this? Can I not control this? How am I going to react to it? So it's really practice, because, you can't live life without stress. I want to say that, right? So you can't get rid of stress, but it's really how you allow stress to penetrate your soul, as I like to say.
Yeah. I'm almost like, I'm thinking how when you were saying, Winnie, it's like you have to be the director of your stress. You gotta, don't let stress be your director in life. I think that's what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it impacts your quality of life at the end of the day.
it does.
People that are stressed out, especially, like workplace stress, we spend a lot of time at work, whether we're an entrepreneur or not. We spend a lot of time doing work. So workplace stress is a huge problem in the United States, really across the globe. So it's something that we need to manage as individuals, but also company-wide organizations need to take a look at stress, especially now during this pandemic, because this pandemic exacerbated a lot of mental health issues, depression, anxiety, suicide, which we're seeing. So
A
it's
lot.
important that companies and organizations take care of their employees in terms of stress management or even just mental wellness overall.
And that, now that you mentioned that too, because I know this goes with that, with the mental, health, is that's really coming up more and more now, more and more seen now. People are really realizing this is something that we need to tackle. It's not just, okay, well, they have a headache or they're just dealing with something, so just leave them alone. And then when you leave them alone, look what's happening. Like you just said, Wendy, people are basically giving their lives up. I mean, they're basically cutting their lives short, because of a mental that they've been going through. So it's serious. This is serious, when it comes to this. And stress could be, like I said, one of those things that give you just like a open to say to people, hey, I'm stressed out about something. Okay, maybe they're calling out for help, but people just say, oh, okay, you're stressed out. You just go over there and sit down for a minute. But it might be a call for help.
Absolutely. And stress, chronic stress is associated with depression, anxiety, suicide, substance abuse. So you are right. Somebody may just say, oh, I'm so stressed, or I had a stressful day. Well, I think, as individuals, first of all, we need to learn how to connect to each other. And the way of doing that is listening. So maybe unpacking that statement. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you had a stressful day? What does that mean to you? But listening again takes time. So creating time and space for people is also important to understand, what does that mean to them? What
Yeah.
could they do different? But it's really connecting with human connection to really assess what's going on in individuals' lives. Because someone can seem really strong and have it all together, but when
Yep.
they go home at night,
Mm-hmm.
they're not good. I was talking to a nurse the other day who was saying she used to go to work and come home and cry in her closet.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's important to
Mm.
connect with people to understand their experience in this world.
Yeah. There's so many hidden people, like you said, the strong people. I know that I even had to admit to myself, just a few months ago, people were like, oh, Barb, you're smiling, you're laughing, you seem like you got it together. And I'm like, they just don't know that when I'm at home, I'm sitting here screaming at the top of my lungs, like, I got so much stuff, But I feel like if we talk it out, like you just said, Wendy, going back to that real quickly, that somebody might have that answer, or can give you something to say, you know what? You said you're stressing out about this. Why don't you? Maybe you need to hire a VA, or maybe you need to, do this particular thing, or maybe you need to take a time out during the day and just do a 5 minute Usha moment. I always say the Usha, or whatever it is, and then when you hear people maybe giving you some tips or some guidelines, that can help you too. But if you don't say anything and you're just saying, well, I'm distressed, because that's like a broad statement when you think about it. I'm stressed. That's a broad statement. What are you stressed about? That's when you start. You said, like you said, you start digging.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm able to provide, the individuals who I work with. I provide them with support, accountability, and community. For me, those are the staples to really developing sustainable stress management solutions for yourself. Because, you never know when that's going to come up, right? I'm stressed, or I had a bad day. Well, where's your outlet? Where's your outlet?
Yes.
And I think everyone needs to really think about that question. Where is your outlet when you get to your wit's end, when you can't take it anymore?
Definitely, definitely. Wow. Well, Wendy, I could always stay with you and talk to you so much. You just have so much good information and wisdom for people. But I want to just take myself down for 30 seconds, because I really want you to just any lasting things that you want to say to the audience, and I'll come back up and we can let people know exactly where to contact you.
Stress management is important for many reasons, mental and physical health, but also it's important so you can live out your vision. Everyone has a vision to impact this world. Your vision is important not for you, but for other people. How will you inspire people to see your vision? How will you influence others to move towards your vision? How would you impact lives with your vision? Everyone who can hear my voice, you have a gift that needs to be unwrapped. So let that be your motivation to manage your stress. Do not wear stress as a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor because stress can ultimately kill you. It can ultimately kill you. It's associated with so many diagnoses that can negatively impact your mental and physical health. So if you are looking for help in managing your stress, please reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation with you. And until we meet, figure out what is stressing you out and what can you do about it? What is the next best step for you?
Ooh, lady. Wow. You just boom, hit it right there. Hit it right there, Wendy. Thank you for just being such an influencer in this world for people so they can realize, not just to handle their stress, but to handle everything about them because that does take in other considerations of what can hit in their life. So thank you for doing what you do, being that coach, being that lifestyle coach, being just the individual who you are. Thank you. And like Wendy said, you can contact her. I have her website, the stress blueprint. Now, Wendy, I know you have something like give a gift or something that they can get from you.
Yes, if you go to the website, you'll be able to download the 3 questions to ask when you're stressed, and that will help you on your journey to stress management. Really just trying to identify what are you stressed about. But it's a really great download that you can do by yourself. And I'm more than willing to help you complete more of it if you have any questions. But yes, you can go to the website and download that for free.
Awesome, Wendy. Awesome. Well, thank you, lady, for coming on and just taking the time out to be with me at the Coaches Lounge, the show that coaches are very vital in people's lives and that are very important. And you are a prime example of that to help others so we can just live our purpose life. I keep telling, live our purpose life without dealing with all the other stuff. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to take this alone. And Wendy has really described that through what she does. So Wendy, anytime you want to come back, lady, you are welcome here at the Coaches Lounge. I'm here to help and support you all the time.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Have a good day.
You too.